Hey everyone, I'm Alexandria. I hope you guys are excited to start this class on social policy. I really am. I'm actually currently sitting outside because it's so stunningly beautiful out today. It's super duper duper sunny, and I just want to share that with you. I'm sitting here on the ground on my front porch. um, but I guess just to answer these questions that she posed for us to get to know each other. I Professionally, I work for UPMC Pinnacle. If you guys are familiar with seeing signs of UPMC, I don't know where everyone is at in the country, but in Pennsylvania, UPMC is like a huge healthcare organization, and they're buying out all of the surrounding healthcare corporations. We just combined with UPMC Pinnacle, and I moved out to Harrisburg area because I'm in the HSED program too. So I wanted to be closer to Philadelphia. I'm originally from Pittsburgh. So yeah, I'm a social worker. Anyways, I specialize in addiction and recovery at a mat-based treatment clinic called the UPMC Pinnacle Addiction Recovery. And I work with a community mission effectiveness team, and we kind of work to create programs to instill within UPMC to cover gaps in healthcare. So, something that I feel like I've covered heavily on in my first discussion post about social policy and like Congress posts, Congress policy and Supreme Court and executive orders. I talked about Obamacare or the uh, Affordable Care Act. We'll say that. And so that kind of really pertains to where I am specialized at in my career, and thinking about how we really need to cover gaps in healthcare because they exist and they still exist, even with all of what's been done to try to fix issues. I feel like we're kind of retracting on like all of the things that we've kind of put money into to solve those problems. And I'm seeing the effects that has on people right now. Anyways, there's always ways around things. Us as social workers, we're always solving problems in unique ways and like figuring out ways to get around the barriers that exist for people who don't have access to commercial health insurance, which covers a lot more than obviously like Medicare, Medicaid, or can potentially. Not all commercial health insurances do that, but we'll just leave it at that. And in terms of what I've most enjoyed learning in my past courses, I recall like one of my first courses, we were talking about emotional intelligence and how that works in our professional relationships, personal relationships, and in terms of ourself, creating more self-awareness. I feel like is really essential, and being in tune with how you feel versus how other people feel helps you process a little bit more, and especially be more aware of what's going on in your environment, and if people are checking in and checking out and things like that. So I see that a lot in what I do, especially working with substance abuse. It's hard to keep people engaged in care, and that's something that I really struggle with, and I'm working on a program right now to try to fill in that gap as much as I can, at least. And then something else that I really enjoyed learning about is the life stages and how that is relatable in my own life, and how thinking in terms of development and how people are thinking and how we conceptualize cognitively where people are at, and how some people never actually get to those developmental stages is really interesting to me. So I work with a lot of prisoners, and people who are on work release programs, and those folks often make me think of the life stage development, and how being institutionalized in prison and taken away from their social world really isolates them in terms of their development. And I find that unhelpful, especially when you're trying to reintegrate them back into our communities. And just this past 6 weeks, we took a social research methods course, and I really appreciated those tools that were jogged that I learned in undergrad. So a lot of overlap happened where in my senior capstones with sociology and gender, sexuality, and women's studies, we specialized in feminist social research methods. And then I also learned social research methods in undergrad and applied those things in huge projects. And a lot of this work came pretty easy to me and helped me reestablish how thinking about the program that I'm creating is going to require an exponential amount of research, and I already have reference to bazillion things, but this is extremely applicable in both my personal life and work life, and in terms of school. I really appreciate and value research, and I think it is necessary in our field right now because honestly I'm facing an extreme barrier of evidence-based practice in social research, especially in regard to substance abuse and addiction, and it's like non-existent. I know a lot of resources do exist, but it's extremely limited in regard to evidence-based practice and being able to apply programs to where I'm working. It's a huge barrier that I'm facing, and so that's why I'm working on creating a program. And hopefully having research down the road in this background will help me develop that program a little bit more and help teach others if it's successful. So we'll see where that goes. And what I'm looking forward to in this course, I feel as if social policy is extremely overlapping in where I work as well. So in terms of like becoming more knowledgeable about how social workers and clinicians and doctorates in social work have such a great impact in social policy and creating awareness on about populations that don't often get represented, I feel like, in policy. So especially right now, this I feel like is an extremely important topic, and a lot of voices need to be heard because obviously our political situation right now, but I won't even go into detail about that because everybody's in the know. And if you're not, do some research and do not watch your local news because they're oftentimes biased. Anyways, I'm just a little dumbfounded right now at the little amount that exists in regards to low-income, middle-class populations, especially diverse. Oh, hi. Sorry. That was really funny. The delivery man just dropped off an Amazon box, and he was like, "You need to order a chair." So embarrassing. Okay. Anyways, I feel like I'm really excited to learn more about how policy exists and honestly how to dissect policy, because I was trying to do this first assignment and I had a really difficult time reading legislature and the 1,000 pages that exist for the Affordable Care Act. It's absolutely impossible to dissect and read, and so I ended up researching a bunch of articles that exist about what the intentions were of the Affordable Care Act, especially in terms of Congress passing things and how they put together a plan for 8 years and how to instill the Affordable Care Act and change things in states and disseminate the money that they decide is allocated in certain parts. It's just extremely difficult to look at, and I don't speak lawyer. I did not go to law school. So maybe this class will help me develop a tool set on how to tackle looking at these things that impact the populations, and whether or not they're beneficial and if they need reformed in any way. I would really love to learn that. Anyways, I really hope you guys have an awesome semester. I'm excited to work with you all. I hope you appreciated my silliness in this video and my hair blowing in the wind. So I'm excited for this class, and I really hope to gain an awesome tool set to take on into my career. Thank you guys. See ya.